administration. We are discussing about the client administration. So as part of the client administration, so we discussed how to create the client. So to create the client, we have to use the SCC4 is the transaction code for the client creation. Okay. Then, so we already discussed about the, for the creation of the client, we need to use the BD sale or BD54 for the, so logical system creation, right? So logical system naming convention also we discussed how it will be. Then after that, to log into the newly created client, so we have to change the one parameter in profile, right? So then yesterday we discussed about the profiles and parameters as well. So RZ10, RZ11 are the profile parameter changes. So if you want to change any system configuration, we have to use the RZ10, RZ11. At the same time, so to log into the newly created client, there is a one parameter we have to change it. Why? Because whenever you do the installation, then you will get the two clients, 000, 001. So with that clients, we have the default users, SAP star and DDIC users. We can use it to log into the newly created clients. But here you have manually created the one new client for the our business data storage purpose. To store the business data, we have to use the, so our manual client we have to create it. That is called the custom client creation. We have to do that one. So, but you will not get the any user in that client. But to log into the newly created client, we have to change the one parameter. That parameter is called the login slash. So no login slash no underscore automatic underscore. So user SAP star equals to, so 0 we need to make it here. We have to make the equals to 0 to enable SAP star. So after you enabling, you need to restart the system. Then SAP star with pass is the password will be enabled after the restart in the newly created clients. Suppose example, here we have the NWD system here, right? So let's log into the, so let's log into the system. Then let's go to SCC4 to see anyone created any clients. I see someone created the, so I think 105 client they have created. That's great. What about the others? What about the others? Why others are not created any clients here? So the person who tried this one, so they have correctly tried this one, 105 and NWD CLNT 105. So what about the others? So which means you guys are not practicing well. That's why I told you, right? If any issues, just to speak up in the class or just you can ping me separately. I can help you. So, but you guys are not at all practicing. Hello? Someone is speaking something?
Hello, sir. This is Sai Shreyas.
Yes, I yes.
On Tuesday and Wednesday, I couldn't able to practice because I have the shift
Okay, okay,
from
that's
11
fine.
p.m.
Yeah, that's only one. You are okay. But
Yeah,
what about the others? That's what
I'm
I'm.
speaking from my side as I
Okay. Oh,
give
that's fine.
information.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for the information. Thank you. Not a problem. Okay. So, okay. So once again, to change the profiles and parameters, we have to go to the RZ10 or RZ11. Then we need to change the values of the profiles here, right? So here you can see the, so instance profile. One is the application server instance and default profile here. So in the default profile, you will see the all the default parameters, means default SID, DB type, all the types are there here. Here we can't change anything here. Why? Because it's a default. So then application server specific parameter means what is the what is how many work process, BTC, update, remaining all the so instance specific related parameters we can change it here. Instance specific parameters we can change it here. At the same time, to log into the newly created system, newly created client, so we have to change the one parameter. So that parameter is called the so login slash no underscore automatic underscore user underscore SAP star. So if you need to change this parameter, so if the value is 1, then we need to make it to the 0. Then just click on the copy button. Sir, here copying the just copy, then two types copy, then go back, then save and activate. Copy and copy, save, activate. Like this, we have to do the changes of the profile parameter here. So you have to restart the system application server. We have to restart the app server here to affect the changes here, right? So we have done it here. So, and also you see here, so in the extended maintenance, if you are unable to find out the parameter here, go to the parameter. You are unable to see, you are not sure what is the parameter. There is a browse button. Just click on the browse button. Then you will see the list of parameters here. List of parameters. Then search what are the parameter you want to change it. You have not remembered all the things here. You just only know login. Then just put the login star. Then you will find out the login star related all the parameters. How is the password length, password history, password characters, all the allow the multiple users, password length, letters, difference, digits. So all the information you have on the information here. So all the information, all the information. So you have the information. Suppose you see, so fails users to log. If you attempt 5 times wrong password, user will be, so the value is the 5 times. If you attempt 5 times wrong password, the 6th time user will be locked. So then I can change it to the 7. 7 times if the user enters as per the organization policy, then so the user will be locked now. I change it to the 5 to 7. But as per the company policy, I changed it here. So like that, we have to change the value. Then immediately it won't affect. Why? Because these all are the static parameters. These all are the static parameters here. So we need to do the restart of the application server. We have to do the restart of the application server here. So here we can just do the restart of the 04 application server directly. The value will be affected. The value will be affected here. So normally if you have the multiple, so just multiple application server, each and every application server, there is a respective profile is there. In that profile, we have the parameters. So we have to change the parameter value. We have to change it here. So log into the newly created client. To log into the newly created client, so we have to change the parameter value equals to 0. Then we can log into the so newly created client here. We can log into the newly created client. So here application server is shut down here. Means we have stopped the application server here. Okay. Now it is starting. So after the starting, let's see whether we can able to log into the newly created client or not. Just click on the NWD. Okay. So I can log in now, right? So now I can log in now. So I can log into the system now. But so here, so I see here I can log in now. So now we created the 100 client or 105 client, 100 client, then SAP star, then PASS is the pass, right? Then how can I now log into the system now? Previously, we were unable to log into the newly created client. Now I am able to log into the newly created client. So what happened now? What has been changed in between here? So in RJ10, we have changed the one profile parameter here. So then we have restarted the system here. We have restarted the system here. So we changed this to 0. 1 is there. Then we can change the to the 0. This will allow automatic login of the user SAP star. The password is the pass, empty pass. Now I am able to log into the 100 client with the SAP star user. Previously, we are unable to log in, but now I am able to log in. So to allow users to log in, so we need to use the this parameter. We need to change the parameter. So in this case, we should know where to change the parameters, configuration parameters, then RZ10, RZ11. So this is the one of the important question they may ask you during the interview point of time. So what is the difference between the RZ10 and RZ11? RZ10 is the, yesterday we discussed, right? RZ10 is the static parameter. Then static means, so we need to restart the restart the system, then the value will be affected. But these are the permanent changes. The 3-4 words is enough, right? This is the dynamic parameters, dynamic profile, dynamic parameters. No need to restart the system, no need to restart it, but it's only temporary. If you restart, the values will be reverted to the previous status here. So that is the difference between the RZ10 and RZ11. This is the parameter value. So what is the difference between RZ10 and RZ11? Anyone can explain whatever we discussed yesterday?
Yes, sir. RZ10, when we change the parameters in RZ10, so that calls for static change, which means it's a permanent change. But for that, we have to restart the application server. And if we are doing a change in RZ11, this calls for temporary change. In this, if we restart the system, the changes will come back to the previous stage.
Right. Right. That is the, yes, exactly. Thank you, Shah. So
Yes.
that is the one. So we know now parameters and profiles, any configuration parameter system related, we can do the changes in the RZ10 and RZ11. Any changes in the system, any parameter, any configuration you want to change it, we have to go to the RZ10 or RZ11. So we need to do the changes here. Okay. So that is the one. So now coming to the our client copies topic here, the client you created, but the client you created, so in the system, suppose example, this is the host, this is the SAP system. In the SAP system, we have the 000 client, we have the 001 default client. Then you created the new client, that is called the 100 client you created, or 105 client you created. Okay, so this is the 000, then 001, then we have the 100 client we created here. So that is fine here. But as of now, you have the data, users, everything in this client. So to log into this client, you need the separate user ID password. For this client also, you need separate user ID. For this one also, you need separate user ID and password. But as of now, you have created the data in the 0001 client. But if I want to create the same data again 001 client, again it will take longer time. Why? Because as of now, you have done some other configuration, groups, everything you have done it here. So I want to perform the similar configuration manually means, so again it will be a risky. Risky means it's not the risky, again it will take the time, right? So in this case, SAP so implemented the future is called the client copies here. SAP implemented the So client copies concept here. So client copies means you can copy the data from one client to another client. You can copy the data from one client to another client is called the client copy, right? So if you have the data already in the other client, so then you can copy to the target client, 100 client, you can copy it here. So they are the three types of client copies are available in the SAP. One is the local client copy, then remote client copy, then client export and import client. So then export and import method. So there are the three types of client copies we have in SAP. So local client copy, let's start discussing about the local client copy here. What does it mean by local client copy here? What is mean by local client copy here? So local client copy means so locally copying the data. Local means suppose in your suppose let's talk about the first of all examples here, right? There are the three types of client copies: local, remote, and and client export and import method. Local means within the system, then copying the data from one client to another client is called the local client copy. This is called the local client local client copy. To perform this one, you need to use the transaction code is the SCCL. L means local. So local client copy here. So we have to use the transaction code is called the local client copy. Suppose within your device or within your laptop or within your mobile, to copy the document or data from downloads to the document or C drive, the E drive, wherever it may be, that is called the local client copy. That is called the local client copy here. Okay, local client copy here. Okay, that is the local client copy here. So this is called the local client copy here. To perform this one, we need to use the SCCL, and within the system, you need to log into the. So the procedure to perform the local client copy, the step number one, you need to log into the, the newly created client with SAP star with the password. Then execute the SCCL is the transaction code. Then select the source client, select the source which client you need the data. Then select the profile, which profile you need to do. There the client copy profiles are there. SAP underscore all the data means data is segregated into the profiles. Suppose some customers, some people, they don't want to copy all the data, right? They want to only specific data. Suppose like some customers, they want to copy the users data. Then we need to select the SAP underscore. Some users, they need the customization data. Some users, they need the cust V. Some users, they need the some other different data. So then in this case, so we need to select the respective profile. We need to select it here. So I mean, log into the 100 client. Then SCCL is the transaction code. So you need to select the profile, which profile you have to do that one. There the types of profiles are available in the system here. So SAP underscore all. So which means you want to copy all the data, then you need to select the this profile, though this may take very longer duration. So if you want to only customization, you can select the only customization data, cust V. You want to only profiles, you want to only users, you want to only something, then you need to respect to profile, you need to select it. Let's select the users. Let's select the user here, SAP underscore user. We can select it here. Then what is the source client? From which client you need the data? Suppose 101 client, we need the data here, right? 101 client. Anyway, because, sorry, 001. In the 001 client, we have the data. Suppose example, let me show you one example here. In the 001 client, you see we have the basis user is there. In the 001 client, we have the basis user is there here. So let me go back here. Here start search. Here you see they are the 5 entries: basis user, Manik, so Shisha. So we have the users are there, DDIC. We have the users are there in the 001 client, right? So then if I go to the same, then 100 client. So let's talk about the 100 client here. Go to the 100 client, SAP star, then PASS pass. So then if I go to the SC01 for the users, then select it and see how many users are there here. So no values here, which means they are the no users exist in the 100 client here. Okay. So now I want to copy the users data from 001 client to 100 client. Users data means the users and passwords. I want to copy it to the here as part of the 100 client creation here. So in this case, what we have to do here is we need to copy the data from 100,001 to 100 client here, right? So we need to copy from here to here. We need to copy it here. So in this case, what we have to do? So you have to log into the target client. Okay, select the profile. Which profile? So now I want only, now I don't want to all the data here. If I select the SAP underscore all the data will be copied. So which means it may take very longer duration, all the data. So I don't want to copy all the data. I want to copy only users data, then user data. I want to copy only customization, then customization data. I want to copy something, then you need to select the something here, you need to select it here. Then which client, what is the source here, which means, so you are copying from 001 to 100 client. Which data you are copying? Not all the data, only users data you are copying. Then, so just select the 001, then we can run immediately, means it will run in the dialog mode, which means dialog work process will take care of the your request here. Or you can schedule as a background job here, so that your background work process will take care of the your request here. Then select it, immediately you need to start the job, then select it, click on the continue, then the job is successfully scheduled. So you can check the SM37, you see the log is, the job is successfully scheduled here, but it is cancelled. Job is getting cancelled. See here, cancelled. Job is cancelled here, right? We need to check why it is cancelled here. Here, so login of the user SAP star is in 100 client failed here, which means there is no user of the SAP star user here. That's why this user got failed here. So what I can do, I can create the one dummy user here. Because login with the SAP star user is a does not exist here. Right? So then SCCL is the transaction code. Then select the profile, which profile you want to do it. Then source client, 100 client or whatever it may be. If the source is the 001 client, then select it. Then start the dialog mode. Dialog mode means it's in the dialog user here. So see here, copying the tables here. It's processing the table here. So to run in the background mode, we need the background job. To run the job, we need the one user. That user does not exist here, but here I'm running in the dialog mode. What the difference between the dialog mode, start immediately in the foreground, and the background means the dialog mode it is running. So then what will happen in the dialog mode? The screen will be freezed now. See here, until it will complete, then we need to wait. We need to wait for the completion of the client copy here. If it is running in the background mode, while client copy is running in the backend, we can do our own job. We can do other activities also in the system, right? So other activities also we can join it here. Means, so in the background mode, it will run in the back, and dialog mode, it will run in the dialog mode here. Okay, the processing the tables here. So it is data is processing from the tables. So this profile related data is available in these tables. So the data is getting processed to the data is getting processed to the respective respective client here. So that is what it is happening in the system now. Okay, so the data is getting processed here. So now once it is done, then we can compare the users here. How many users are there here? How many users are there here? We can compare it here, right? So here no values. Before the client copy, there are the no values, means here we don't have any users here. So now after doing this client copy, so you can get the data here. You can get the data here. That is the main thing of the system here. Okay, 65% completed. So it's 90%, 91%. So 95%. Okay, so it's 98. So it's completed. You can see the data got completed here. The data got completed here again. So the data got completed here. See here, address completed successfully. Then data got completed. How much data copied in the bytes? So here you can see the 88 bytes, 88 KB got completed. What is the runtime seconds? So all it got processed. So we can see the logs in the SCC3. SCC3 is here we can see the logs, how the client copy is completed or not, how much time taken, how many tables, how many lines, all the information, we got the information here. So what is the source client? What is the target client? What is the profile, whether it is completed or not, all the information it got recorded here. Okay, so that is the client copy here. So now let's see the data here, whether data is there or not. So in 001, we have the in 001 we have the users here. So now also we have the users here. See, in the 100 client we have the users basis, Manik, Sisha. So same in the in the 001 client also. So except SAP star DDIC, those data will not be copied, right? So basis, Manik, and Sisha. So these three users are called. The SAP star DDIC will not be copied to the newly created client here. So only these three are copied. So this data is copied to the newly created client here. This is the new client which we created here, right? 100 client we created the data. So now after the client copy, you can log in with the SAP star 100 client with basis user or Manik user. Then you can just use the password to log in here. See here, I'm able to log into the 100 client with a basis user. Previously, we don't have any users. Now we have the users. Then how I logged into the system? Because of I went to the SCCL local client copy, then local client copy, then you selected the profile, which profile you want to do it, then just we can schedule as a background job or run in the dialog mode, schedule as a job. Now system will continue to run it in the system here. So in SCC3, we can select the log. So it will display it. What is the processing here, right? How much time it is progressing. We can see the client copy log. What is the profile? SAP underscore cust. Previously user. Now customization data will be processed here. Total tables are 9,862 tables here. So here each table, each time it will process the data here. How many tables here? So it will process it here, right? Here we can monitor the status here, details, client. We can also, if we want to cancel the client copy, we can cancel it here. So there is a background job is scheduled in the backend, right? So if you run it in the here, you can see there is a job is active here. There is a one background job is active in the 100 client here. This is copying the data from 001 to 100 client. This is the activities running here. So which means backend I executed as a background job mode. Now you can do your work whatever you want in the 100 client. You can do it here. Why? Because job scheduled in the backend. Though screen will not be freezed here. So we can do it here. Then I can go with the SM ST20. I can go with the SCC3 for the logs to check the how many tables are completed. Here 9 tables out of 9862. 9 tables are copied here. 9 tables are copied. 12. So 14. So like that, the tables are getting copied. The tables data is getting copied to the 001 client to 100 client. The tables data is getting copied here. This is the way we have to perform the local client copy. Local client copy means within the client or within the system. Suppose example, general example, within the Hyderabad city, to move the data from LV Nagar to, so suppose like LV Nagar to Miyapur or Kokatpalli. So within the city only, just one place to another place to move your courier. To move your courier, we need this one. To move your courier, we need this one here, right? So that is the one thing here we should know here, right? To move the data from one client to another client, we have to use this one here. Okay, that is the client administration part here, right? The local client copy. Okay, got it? Here to perform the local client copy, we need to use the SCCL is the transaction code. Profile, you need to select it. To check the logs, to check the client copy logs here, client copy logs, we need to use the SCC3 is the transaction code for the SCC3 client copy logs here. How the progress is happening, how many tables are copied. So then we can check it out here. Total 46 tables. So it may take very longer duration. Suppose if I cancel the client copy, I am canceling the client copy here, right? I have cancelled the client copy here, cancelled. Due to some issues, I have cancelled here, right? I have cancelled the client copy here. So now what will happen? Suppose I want to again rerun it. So then if I go it here, then there is an option to restart. So if you uncheck this button, what will happen? It will start from the scratch, means starting of the table onwards. If you do the restart option, what will happen? Now how many tables are copied? So then from that table onwards, so it will be copy the data here. Means suppose 40 tables are copied, then 40 or 40 table onwards, it will be restart. The procedure will be restarted. Here. So previously, we have 60 tables are copied. Then it is copying from the remaining tables. Remaining tables are getting copied here. See here, remaining tables are getting copied here. So that is what the process will be here. So which means you no need to stop it here. You have the lakhs of table. So then 9 lakhs tables. If you have the 10 lakhs, 9 lakhs copied means only one table left. It is cancelled means you no need to start from the scratch again. So just to wherever it is got stopped, we can restart the client copy from that one onwards here. Okay, that is the local client copy. That is the local client copy here. Okay, so now, okay, that is the local client copy. So remote client copy. Okay, remote client copy. So to discuss the remote client copy, there is a dependency topic is called the RFC administration. RFC administration here. RFC administration here. So what is mean by RFC administration? So RFC means remote function call, remote function call here means connecting to the other systems from, this is a very important, to connect remotely from one system to other system, that is called the RFC destination. So which means, suppose you have NWD here, you have the ECC here, then you want to transfer the data from this system to this system, then you need to establish the connection here. This connection is called the RFC destination here. That is called the RFC destinations. We have to create it here. RFC means remote function call here. So here we have the types of RFC destinations are available here. Suppose the source and target both are ABAP system, then we can select the type ABAP connection here. If the target is the HTTP connection, then we can select the HTTP external connections here. It is the foreground, then TCP IP. If it is the internal connections within the system, then internal. So if it is the, so like that we have the drivers, like that we have the types of connections are there here. This RFC connections we have to do it from the SM59. SM59 is the transaction code to create the RFC destinations here. To create the RFC destinations here. So just to go to the SM59 here, then in the SM59, so we have the types of connections. Just click on the create button here. Create button here. Just to provide the RFC destination name. Suppose we want to connect to the ECD. Then I enter the ECD here. So then type 3. 3 is the, so here ABAP system. Then I selected the type 3 here. So ABAP to system, connection to the ABAP system here. Then enter the description here. Destination name ECD means I want to send the data to the ECD system from NWD. Then I just chosen the target system as the ECD here. So then what is the retarget host here? Target host. What is the ECD host here? ECD host name. ECD host name is SAP Windows 1. SAP Windows 1 here. What is the instance number? So suppose if you open the here, you will get the details here. What is the host name and what is the instance here? 30 is the instance number here. 30 is the instance number. So here we have to fill the technical system details tab, which means you are connecting to the target ECD. Then what is the ECD host name? What is the instance number of the ECD? Instance number of the ECD here. Then go to the logon security. Logon security here. Here we have to maintain the one user. Suppose like EN. Then what is the client you are going to connect it? 100 client or 001 client. So what is the user? You have to copy the data, or if you want to move it, then we have to maintain the user, or this is the optional. Just save it here. Then the connection is created here. Destination is created here. Then check on the connection test. Then it should be okay now. The connection test is coming in 200 milliseconds. So then suppose if you give wrongly here, suppose in the technical settings field, if you give very wrongly here, then what will happen? Just click on the connection test here. The test will be failed here. The test will be failed here. It is not reached. Why? Because the details are very wrong here. The details are wrong here. So that's why we have details are very wrong here. That's why we have these details here. So you have to clearly maintain all the details here. You have to clearly maintain the details and perform the connection test here. Then you are getting the connection test here, right? So that is the RFC destinations creation here. So ECD to ECD, ECD to NWD. So vice versa, we can create the destinations in SM59. SM59 is for the RFC destinations creation here. We need to create the destinations here. Then internal connections, system internal here. There is one more destination is called the, so HTTP sites. So connection to the ABAP connection, R2 connection, then external connections, TCP IP connections, then external connections G. So we can create it here G. So external connection, suppose I want to, so the source is ABAP, target also ABAP system, SAP system. we can use the above connection, means R3 connection. If the source is above, target is the your site, one of the banking server to send the data, then here we can use the banking server details. Then suppose I want to send the data to the Google, then we can use the Google. Then here what is the site host name here? So maybe site name host name is www. So google.com, right? Instance number, service number is the 80 common here. Just save it, then do the connection test, then your test is successful now. 200 and okay. So which means we are connecting to the external server, means a non-SAP system here, non-SAP system here. So if you go to the response body, then you see the Google home page is opened here. Google home page is opened in the system here. Means we are able to send the data to the Google also here. So connection to the external server, above connections means source also above, target also above, then above to above. Source is above, target is the HTTP site, then we can use the external connections, external server, HTTP connection to the external server here. So internal connection within the system internally. So then TCP/IP through program IDs we can create the connection programs. Through program ID programs in SA38 programs we can create the TCP/IP connections here. So this is the internal connections here, drivers based connection here. So these are the types of connections are available in the system here. RFC connections. These are the types, connection types here. We have the types of connections here. So above connection, HTTP connections, internal connection, TCP connection here. So why it is required it here? So to apply establishing the communication between two systems here. Suppose you want to transfer some data from ECD to NWD system. You want to transfer the data. Then between two systems, you need some connectivity, right? For example, I want to I have one mobile. You also having one mobile here. Suppose like my friend also having the one mobile here, right? Suppose my friend also having one mobile here. I want to transfer one movie or one document to the my friend mobile. In that case, what I will do, my friend has to enable the Bluetooth and I also enable the Bluetooth, and both the side I need to connect to the Bluetooth, means both the mobiles will be connected, interconnected, right? Then I can in the network I can transfer the data from one system to another system. So which means why we need to connect to the other system means to exchange the data, to move the data from one system to another system. We need a RFC destination. We need a RFC destination to move the data from one system to another system. That's why we have the RFC administration. So either not only both SAP to SAP, SAP to non-SAP, SAP to some other TCP/IP program, SAP to some other programs, we can use it here. SAP to other programs, we can use it here. That is called the other programs we can use it here. Above program, HTTP program, some other connections we can use it in the systems here. Okay, that is called the remote function call here, right? That is called the RFC administration part here. Okay, so that is the thing of the RFC administration here. Okay, so sir, why we are discussing in between? Why we are discussing in between in the remote client copy time? So you explained the local client copy, that is that is okay. But while explaining the remote client copy, then you have skipped this topic. Then you have explained about the remote RFC administration. Why means? So for to perform the remote client copy, there is a dependency called the RFC connection creation between two systems. Remote means you have the one system here, you have the one more system here. To transfer the data from one system to another system called the remote client copy, right? Why? Because you have the 100 client here, you have the 100 client here or different client here. I want to transfer the data from one system, one client to another system, another client here. Then both the systems are, I want to transfer, means the connection is very important. To create the connection, what is required? The remote connection is required, right? Remote RFC destination is required here. Remote RFC destination is required here. So that's why we are creating the, these connections here, right? That's why we are creating these connections here, right? So that is the very important thing here. Okay. So that's why we discussed about the RFC administration. Before we perform the remote client copy, we should understand the how to interlink two systems, two SAP systems or one SAP to other SAP systems here using the RFC administration, means RFC connection, means SM59 is the transaction code here. So now let's come to our topic is called the remote client copy. So to perform the remote client copy here, so shall I explain or will you guys practice up to here? What do you think? Shall I explain the remote client copy or will you guys practice the local client copy and RFC destinations creations and etc?
Sir, if you could just regarding the RFC destination, uh, like there are many multiple options, like starting with connection to ABAP, then HTTP, then TCP IP. So what is TCP IP is
Is the
what I
program
understand.
TCP/IP is the program based connections, program level. If we want to enable the connection, then we need to enable the TCP/IP connection. Suppose like,
Okay.
suppose program ID we have to give it here. So then some other connection, suppose SAP GUI, then GUI program ID, GUI level, the program ID connections we have to enable it here. So program ID based connections, these all are the internal connections. Programs. Suppose if you are connecting to some third party, suppose example, HTTP sites, fine. Above to above, fine. So, but if you are connecting to some documentum, some third party servers, third party, third party servers. So, if it is the SAP system, then above connection we can use it. If it is the HTTP server, then we can use the HTTP connection site, we can use it. But this is the third party server. Then in this case, for third party servers, suppose example, documentum, some other connection type, documentum, some other Oracle. These are the third party servers, non-SAP servers. In that case, if you want to connect to those servers, you need to use the TCP IP connection. TCP IP connection, you have to use it. So both target system is anything. Just to go to the SM59. So targets depends upon the type of the target system. We can choose the respective connection type. We can choose it here.
So, well, sir, in this thing, if like SAP system, this NWD to have its database. For example, we have a database of SQL. So, are we connected via TCP IP with SQL?
We can directly connect to the TCP IP also, we can connect it. But
Okay.
data on top of database, we have the SAP application, right? So,
Yes.
so if you are pulling the data from SAP application, means it will get the data from the database level only. So
Okay.
here we can use the SAP to SAP, we can use the above connections. SAP to non-SAP HTTP, then we can use the HTTP connection, internal. So TCP IP connection means external systems, external connections mean third party systems, we can use it here. Some MDX parser, then MDS program is used here to connect to the MDS parser here. So like that, each program, each RFC destination, there is a program ID specified. These are the default one. It will come as part of the installation.
All right.
So, so shall I explain or will you guys practice? You guys will practice, right? So practice it, no one speaking.
Yes, sir. I'll practice.
Any questions, anyone, regarding the